The show features adults using adult language and discussing mature topics. You have been warned.
This will be
Nice.
fun.
Before we start, Scott, I'm gonna run and get another drink.
I literally just switched.
Oh, shit. Hi. Hello, everyone. How's it going?
You can go get your drink. I'll do the recap.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Hey everyone, sorry for the delay. You know how it is. Your router doesn't want to work, and you gotta sit there and watch it reset. But we're here. So hello. Goodbye.
If we're doing a recap, we have to wait until she comes back to roll.
Oh, I see what happened here.
Oh, Jesse lost his video.
Yeah, sorry, Jesse. When you did that, it like switched everyone. Oh, it actually only switched 2 people. We're good. All right. So last time, it goes to Saltmarsh. Abigail, the one currently going to get a drink, decided that she was going to try to set up a school in Saltmarsh. And they're like, oh yeah, there's like these old shacks on the south side of town that literally no one uses and they're long abandoned. You can take any of those for free. You just get you pay for the refurbishing and stuff, but we're in medieval times and you guys are heroes, so you might as well be equivalent to nobles. So here's your plot of land that you want. And as she was going to refurbish it, she quickly realized why the tales of the place were true on it being called Crabbers Coves, because the other side of it had a whole bunch of crabs. And when I say a whole bunch of crabs, I mean swarms of crabs. And it turned out not just crabs, but these sentient humanoid crab folk. And they were very interesting. They liked to sing and dance. And with group work, combining the seal work of Bryn and the crazy charisma of our paladin Axel, they were able to outdance and sing their way to owning the rights of this part of the beach from the crab folk. And as they do that, they realize that there's a cellar door here. Very unconventional, considering this is a beachside house. And the group was just about to open the door.
Oh boy.
So
I feel like it's only fitting for Abby B to be the one to open the door.
Abby, you go to open the door?
Yeah.
Full initiative for giant insects.
Do you
I
want
see.
bugs? Because this is how you get giant bugs.
I say this, and then I remembered that I specifically said last time that I probably wasn't wearing my armor.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps
It's fine. I'll be fine.
Perhaps you should let somebody else take it.
And it is nighttime. We did specify that. Like the sun was setting and now it is dark.
Also, it's night bugs.
Yeah, she would.
Because the crab folk, some of them had like the bioluminescent algae as almost like body paint for the dancing.
Oh, it was a crab rave.
Mhm.
It really was a crab rave.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She'd like hold up her holy symbol and cast light on it and peek in.
You look and you see 2 old rotten wooden doors with a rusty steel framework around it. It does not appear to be locked, but it does have the latch over top of where the lock would be, and it seems to be rusted fused shut. Like it has not been opened in quite some time.
Okay. She'll try and, I guess, force it open.
Strength check. Or you can just smack it.
Strength check. Holy shit, that's not terrible. That's an 18.
Alright, with a good yank, you break them apart. Bits of rust and salt go around the place, and you're able to open the door, and inside, darkness. Except
Raise
for
my light.
your light. Peering inside, you see a fairly well-furbished basement. And by well-furbished, I mean it's not a flood in here. I mean, it seems to have been surprisingly very, very well sealed from, no pun intended for the sulky, from water. And the first thing that catches your eye is the light reflecting back from a bunch of shiny bits all over the ground. Very colorful, very bright colored shells.
So I think we maybe found their shiny hoard.
If anything valuable were in here, that would be great.
There is one thing you hear inside.
No, boy. Hello?
Peering from out of the light is a fairly dressed, pale nobleman human.
Does the voice
his-
sound like the voice of that hooded guy that I talked to last time?
Nope.
Okay.
In his hand, he is carrying what appears to be a makeshift chalice. It seems like it was originally some kind of tin or steel cup, but barnacles were on it, and they seem to have been chipped off to be a handle as he's holding it. His clothes look like they were a nobleman's at one time, very much out of fashion nowadays. Very old and worn, mostly from what looks like salt water. And he is just within your low light. So he's on the other side of the basement. Other things you see in here, as you have your light in. You notice that there are a bunch of dead crabs around. Two crab folk come up out of the shiny shells, and you notice that around these assortments of shells are not just those, which are fairly worthless, they're just pretty trinkets, are a bunch of fish scales and pearls. And now Josul and Axel would know that the fish scales are the coin equivalency of underwater colonies. They actually farm their equivalents of banks and forgeries that make currency are actually fish farms where they have copperfish, silverfish, and goldfish. And they harvest their scales for currency.
Axel would like look over and like see this big glittering pile and like let out the whistling equivalent of like one of those little water bird whistles, right? So imagine if someone goes like, but it's also underwater.
And gurgly.
Yeah.
The two crab folk, their shell is albino, looking long dead, bone colored. Eyes still bloodshot red though. And they go to look at you and they start to do this weird hissy chitter, and he puts his hand up and they recoil back and they like stay back. And he says, "Interesting that you are all here. Are you my saviors? Where are my introductions? My name is Zolek." As he does a very formal bow.
I'm assuming that either those are your friends or your undead compatriots.
Looks at one, looks at the other. I'd say more the latter.
Well, yes, well met. I am Captain Axel.
Abby?
I know very much who you all are, Josul.
Just all nods.
Oh, you have heard of us.
How's your stomach feeling?
Better.
Seems to
How
do.
long have you been down here? That you've heard of us, but
Longer than you would probably know.
You must have really good hearing.
Rory comes out at night and talks to the town crier. That kid never shuts up.
You
What are you
must
doing
you
down
must
here?
you must be the new hero here, Bryn, is it? I hear you have affiliation with seals.
Yes, I do.
Your seals like do their like bubbly hop walk but backwards.
Are
Nervously.
they here?
Yeah, they were here helping with the dance number.
they were your backup number.
Yeah, but I didn't think that they came down anyway. Whatever. Yes, I
This
guess
is-
hero.
For Zoom chat, I'm sorry to interrupt. The name is spelled XOLEC. It's classic, Greyhawk Fantasy era.
Ah,
Weird name.
Definitely doesn't sound super evil.
I mean, it kind of sounds like Mesoamerican, frankly.
So
Yeah, but
I'm assuming at this point you would need us for either some sort of quest or you stand in our way in some way. Which one of these is it?
I would rather not stand in your way. I know fully well what you are capable of.
Ah, good then. We'd rather you not stand in our way either.
Two of you are very formidable against undead, so I have heard.
I don't understand why we immediately moving to talk of hostilities. But I'm sorry. What is your? How did you come to be down here?
Well, why don't you have a seat? And he goes over to, I didn't get to finish saying the full room, but he has an old rotten couch that looks like at one point, Josul, that it was worth around 250 gold when it was in prime condition, but it looks like it's been through centuries of wear and tear. Mostly water damage. As he sits
That
on
was
it and
once
is
a
very
very nice
creaked.
couch.
There's a wardrobe in here as well, equally looking old. Well, not maybe not equally, but it's definitely old. And
Still just makes the side commentary that was once a very valuable couch.
and do any of you enter?
yeah.
Just
yes.
all comes in.
Okay. As you go inside, the two crab folk that are in there look at you all, and you notice that some of they're salivating. And he says to them, "Away with you. You're disturbing my guests." And both of them just kind of bury themselves into the treasure.
These fish are friends, not food.
Hello, Bruce.
And he motions over towards another couch for y'all to sit at.
Phil does his best to sit down, what with his lower half being fish.
It's kind of cold and damp in here.
I've lived in the water. Cold and damp is normal.
Happy you'll sit down in the corner of it.
It's a call to stand by the door.
I was thinking it's like Josul should find look around for a chaise lounge,
You
a fainting couch.
Or a
You-
rock, because he's almost 360 pounds of merman. I'm not sure that couch can handle all this.
All that magnificence.
do you actually try to sit on the couch?
No. I'm well aware of my incredible girth.
Okay.
I'm not going to attempt to park it on that couch. I kind of squidge over to a comfortable place nearby and just kind of do that whole half sit on my own tail naga thing that I'm sure merfolk do all the time.
Oh, I'm sure. Probably the biggest piece of furniture that you guys actually see in here is not the couch or the wardrobe, but instead in the back corner of this surprisingly big dungeon, more than a basement, just one big open room, essentially, is what appears to be some kind of coffin that is attached to a weird machinations of steel and metal. They look almost like spidery legs with gears in the joints, but in metal cords and string on them, but they have been rusted and been destroyed over the years. But the coffin looks like it's been used fairly recently. And it's just, the coffin's pretty much leaning its back onto the wall in the back corner.
Okay.
But it looks like maybe at one point the coffin could be upright and the spidery legs underneath could move it.
Oh.
Charming. Do you have a crab coffin?
Yes. Not of my choosing. Do you know what I am? I'd assume you would.
Well, I wasn't sure, but after having seen the coffin, I've heard stories of things that sleep in those.
I'll need to make an Arcana check, I believe, or
It
religion.
would be, this would be a religion check.
Josul's just going by old fishermen's tales of people sleeping in coffins.
Abby will do a religion check.
17.
Josul's not gonna
Uh,
guess anything beyond that.
You can do a history check on the coffin.
19 religion.
Okay. How about Axel
I got 17.
and Skull?
I was actually going to ask if I could do an arcane check to see if it has any type of magics around it that I've noticed.
The coffin?
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
Yay. I'm participating.
And what did Josul get?
Josul's not gonna bother.
Okay.
He's just going by old tales he's heard of people sleeping in coffins, and that's it.
Josul and Axel are pretty, or not Josul, Abby and Axel are pretty sure this is a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
25 on Arcana if it matters.
Sekald. This looks like a supreme piece of magic craft. Only craft of this kind of legendary build would be to a wizard that you've heard of, or should I say a mage that you've heard of, called Kowalsh. He's known for making, he's pretty much the artificer of Greyhawk.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Friends with Tensor, of course.
So,
Friends with Tensor.
Jess, so how long have you been down here with the white crabs?
I lost track a few decades ago.
Oh dear.
I've learned that keeping track of time isn't good for my sanity. He smiles, you see the
And
fangs. And he says,
They've held
but
captive this whole time.
they haven't.
You've held them captive then.
They decided to worship me.
So
And
it's kind of like a mutual captivity.
Yes.
So then it was his name that I heard them talking about last time.
They treated me as their god. They seemed very superstitious, and it was easy to pry on their ignorance.
I can see that.
But enough about me. I would like to tell you about this city, this town of Saltmarsh.
What about it?
Being as long as you have been here, I'm sure there are things you can tell us that could be quite useful.
I could, but it'll come at a price.
I am a merchant. Price is something I can negotiate. What are you implying?
I can see why you have rifles on the docks.
Josul smiles.
I wish for my freedom out of this cellar. I am bound here by a curse. And I can only leave if one pure of heart carries me out willingly.
Oh, that counts me out. Josul just goes, sorry.
He looked at Axel when he said one pure of heart. Because Paladin, of course.
I know what you are, and you know what I am. You know that I would be bound to destroy you if you were ever to do any harm.
Oh, I won't do any harm to your city.
No. Saltmarsh is under my protection.
As is the surrounding area, not just Saltmarsh.
You will have to relocate, but we cannot be everywhere at once, so you may leave it in peace, or we can fight about it.
There's a bunch of crazy living things over by a giant poop statue in the forest over there. Nobody cares about that forest. But I'd do something about the poop statue if you were going to live there. It's pretty tall.
I'd rather not get into the politics of the Hag Queen there.
Didn't I
Actually,
blow
makes
that
sense.
statue up?
You caught it on fire.
Yeah.
It's probably still burning. It was like a Godzilla-sized pile of poop. It's probably still burning.
But I understand why you'd be very weary. For a vampire is a predator that feeds off of others. Others that you are wanting to protect. However, I can tell you there's a much bigger hidden danger here in Saltmarsh. One that all of you are unaware of. Secrets that I have learned from my decades.
Jen,
Maybe
don't eat-
century? of
Don't
being
eat at
down here.
Fishy Joe's on Wednesday. We know.
And presumably you're not going to tell us what any of these threats are until we let you out.
Precisely. You're welcome to any of the tributes I've acquired through the years.
I look over at Bryn, and since Bryn is the only person here that speaks thieves' cant, at least I think Bryn speaks thieves' cant. I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, let's get Bryn the only one that speaks thieves' cant, and I don't think anyone here speaks thieves' cant. In thieves' cant, I'm going to say the equivalence of, I don't know if this deal is very good. Which to the rest of you just sounds like the sun only shines on Tuesday, but not as clear.
I'm going to roll insight. You won't be able to understand it.
You
You won't be able to understand it, but you might be able to convey some kind of meaning out of it.
Oh, for the rest of us?
but I mean, he's trying to see what I'm saying, but it's thieves' cant. It's a, it's made up horribly good.
Raises an eyebrow, and he's just like, seems puzzled by your statement. Like he knows you're talking in code, but he is clueless on what you said.
I kind of wait for a response from Bryn.
I feel like my version of these can is way different. Than
Just think like spy code words that don't make sense together.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about holes now. Don't
Amazing.
the movie holes, the book holes.
Dig it, oh, dig it. And he's like, what does she mean?
I wouldn't carry Madame Zeroni up the mountain.
AKA, you
means-
don't really trust him either.
No.
Okay.
My God.
All right. Awesome. I love thieves' cant. Okay.
If you would rather not help me, I can understand that. I'm already in my own prison. I cannot leave here.
That
Who
is
cursed
true.
Who cursed you in the first place? Who locked you into this thing?
See, now that's information. And I'm not going to be giving that for free. It's one of the few things I have of value to you.
That is true.
I mean, we could, in theory, assuming you are telling the truth and you don't need us to carry over the threshold for some other kind of weird reason, we could just leave you down here and let the crabs come take you again. I mean,
You could.
we are under no obligation.
I can wait. I've waited long enough now. I can wait longer.
I mean, you could, or the time I roll in. I mean, we don't know.
I don't think that's going to be an issue for him.
You never know what could happen if you got a paladin standing in water.
He crosses the leg, hands together, and just smiles. You noticed when you came in here, it's pretty dry, actually.
But the problem with that theory is that there is somebody in the room that can conjure water.
Well, no, he was
Right.
talking about the literal tide coming in because we're standing under the house. That's
Yeah, this is
right next
under
to
the
beach.
house.
That
Or
being the
was
case,
he?
But from what I was getting from Jesse, the idea was to bless
Axel was
the
trying
water
his
that comes
hand at
in for
metaphor.
holy
Holy
water
water.
that I could
Yeah.
summon and literally just throw in his face and immediately be blessed by the paladin.
I was thinking the literal tide.
No,
Um,
Axel was trying his hand at metaphor because his compatriots were being cryptic.
maybe we should talk about this first amongst ourselves.
I
Don't
understand.
go anywhere. We'll be right back.
God damn it. I knew someone was gonna say that.
Just so kind of squidges outside as quick as he can, which is still really slow for the rest of you.
Abby's absolutely the first one out of there because she's human.
So all of you get out of there.
Yeah, just for the moment. Close the door behind us and kind of
As you go to,
earshot.
as you're gonna close the doors, those two crab folk close the doors,
Eh.
and he's like watching you guys, smiling, hasn't moved as the doors.
I'm gonna walk several feet away.
Yeah, like out of earshot so we can whisper and there's no way he can hear it from over there.
Oh, I think we should probably go out of the house.
Yeah, we're under the house.
Oh yeah,
so-
like on the beach.
Yeah, like
of-
up.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over by the nice loud ocean.
Just
But we're not letting him out of that box, right?
Okay, you guys talk.
Here's the problem.
Garfield decided to leave me a present out here, so I'll be right back.
He has been in the city a very long period of time. A very long period of time to have gathered enough information to probably have something useful. I understand he isn't evil, and Bryn and I are in agreement that he is not trustworthy.
Did you notice that he's not evil? I mean, like, did anyone cast detect? I sure didn't.
I don't need to know if he's evil or not. He is a predator.
Of course.
A wolf might not seem like a threat at first, but when it's hungry, it's a threat.
Josul, we are all predators. We all eat meat. I mean, like what?
His
I
is
know.
of the
He
innocent.
he is an apex predator over
Right.
others of our kind. I'm not ignorant of this, but I also am oath bound to keep things like him from ever seeing the light of day. I literally.
I understand your oath. The problem here is, in order to get the information from him,
Do we
need to
actually-
free him.
But do we need it? Is it worth the cost? And
If there is some latent background evil in this city that we are not aware of, he may be the only one with information on it.
do
He is
you
the
think-
only one to have been here long enough to have
That's
seen it.
not true.
I was going to say, do you think
Like,
perhaps there might
there
be
are
some
like
ancient
there
wizards
are like
around?
4 wizards that live in this town.
And how many of them have been here more than 70 years?
Oh my goodness.
Probably Sekald's master.
Well, all right. The tiefling, maybe.
Not the tiefling, his master, the one that lives in the tower.
His
who was
master,
kind
not
of
his
a dick to
mistress.
me.
I hate both of you right now.
there just because he says he knows something doesn't mean that he actually does.
Oh,
And
I'm
even if he
aware of
does,
that.
doesn't mean that's the only way that we can get that information. There are all kinds of spells that can tell you all kinds of crazy amounts of information if you just know what to ask.
Here's the problem, though. He has nothing to benefit other than his freedom lying to us. We
Well,
have everything to know that
Well,
we could
no,
he could-
easily find out
He
and
could lie to
destroy
us and
him.
say, hey, I have this information. And then his information is, fuck you, I'm gone.
Do you have a scroll of zone of truth on
Do
you?
not, but I can prepare it. I don't have it prepared.
Oh,
He's
I was
not going anywhere. We can prepare it and come back.
I was being hyperbolic, but if you actually want to prepare zone of truth for us, like
I
that,
would absolutely be really willing to do that, but
Here's the thing.
I'm a
He might have information we need.
and he might be just trying to blow smoke.
I understand it's just as likely he is going to entirely try to betray us the first chance he gets. He is a monster and should be treated as such.
Then why
but-
are we still having this discussion? He
He has also been here longer than anyone in the
but
city.
he is unreliable. He is just you cannot depend on it. I mean, he could give us
What
some
would
good
he
information.
gain from lying to us?
His freedom, and
freedom.
then escape. And
We
then-
can kill him before he even touches the water.
but not if we don't know that his information is bunk until afterwards.
there is nothing to gain for right now. There is nothing he can only gain. Like he's the rock bottom. He doesn't have any options. Like
It's true.
him lying to us is just as useful as if he actually did know something useful. Like
Especially
there
if
is
it's
no
like a fantastical kind of threat.
Yeah,
The more outlandish, the more
like it is
dangerous.
entirely possible that either one is true. So what I'm saying is, I understand what you were saying, Josul, that he might have useful information, and I kind of, I hate to say it, that I agree, because like I feel like a lot of time we're kind of don't understand a lot of what's happening in this area. But at the same time, like, I'm not a violent person, but there is no way I'm letting that thing leave this town. He cannot leave.
What is a vampire but a miserable pile of lies?
He's going to be a miserable pile of ash if I have anything to say about it.
Well, I'm in agreement that we probably shouldn't let him live one way or the other. But if we were to break his curse, he has to be helped out of that place.
That and the
Which
other
means
thing
we
is,
could get his
what's to
information
stop him
and then
from
kill him.
you carry him out of the threshold and then he's in a very convenient spot to chomp your neck?
Just I'm not really enthused about bridal
That
carrying.
the rest of us are standing right here, and that we
Hey.
intend on killing him anyway.
Sekald, did you ever learn that the spell with the disc?
Tensors?
Yeah. Put him on that and carry him out. That way he's nowhere near anybody's jugular.
Depending on
Honestly
how the
think
curse
I'm a pure of
works.
heart.
Huh?
You honestly
Oh.
think I'm pure of heart?
Do we have no? Do we have any?
But if you could make a scroll of it, I could cast it.
Does anyone have a resonance number?
I mean, he kind of noped out. He kind of left a lot of this up to me. I mean, I could cast sending to him, but like, there's no guarantee he'd respond.
Well,
From the talk that we had last time, I kind of get the feeling he's not always on this plane, and
If-
it doesn't work if they're on a different plane. Well, not as well.
if that blue
Just-
slacker sent us to do his dirty work, trying to finish off a vampire, because
I don't necessarily think he sent us. The only person who would have been in this town longer than this vampire would probably have been Tensor. But I
What do you mean
don't.
sent us? We came. It was a. I feel like this is a coincidence. Like, he happened to be stuck here, and I wanted to buy this building.
I feel
That-
like we're famous enough that coincidence doesn't necessarily happen.
You were trying to say something?
that coffin had a lot of.
I'm
holy
trying to
magic
say
on it.
there's probably somebody here that knew about this, and that's the reason you got suggested to take this house.
You think
We're
it was-
adventurers. They know we
Well,
take care of
the reason that it was
problems.
suggested is because no one lives here, because it's falling apart, because it was supposedly infested with crabs, but apparently infested with crabs and the vampire.
Or
Okay,
somebody in town knew the vampire was here and
Yes.
sent the adventurers to the vampire house.
consider like maybe some of the information that he has to give us might actually be legitimate. Like just playing devil's advocate just for a moment.
Mhm.
What if it's just dirt on the local element? Like the scandal stuff that was going to break them because they get up to some nasty weird vampire stuff down here, but he
Or
can't
what
leave.
if it's more stuff involving that demon we learned about earlier? Or a
Yeah.
kraken.
Or what about that new weird merchant that came up across the street from Zendros? That's just suspicious.
I mean,
It's
I haven't
glue
really got
related. I have a feeling that's something to do with Tensor.
yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to check in there. I've been pretty busy, but like honestly, yeah, my first thought would be like an apprentice, maybe. That's the thing
Mhm.
that wizards do sometimes, right?
I've heard.
No, we never do that.
Anyway, it cannot be me. If he gets out, I will be honor bound to destroy him, and I will do so gladly, but it cannot be me. I'm not particularly in favor of the idea.
Well, I can promise you I'm not pure of heart, so I'm not going to be able to help you carry him anywhere.
And
Well-
to answer the other question, no, I don't have Tensor's disc.
I may be considered pure of heart by that guy, but right now my heart is telling me 50 big bags of cement.
I mean, we could just as easily trap him in there and keep him there. He's
Yes.
already in his prison and can never leave. If
If
we
it-
seal the doorway off and just make it
Anything-
look like foundation, no one will ever know.
The crabs of Amontillado.
If we seal the door off, they won't be able to get in.
Well,
I
the
have a
thing is
nickel
like
for every time we reference that, I would have 2 nickels. Anyway, sorry.
It's weird.
the thing is like as long as he exists, then there is the option that he can convince somebody to let him out.
Or just throwing out some theories here. Maybe he's not evil.
I mean, it's a kind of academic if he's evil or not. He's a vampire. As you pointed out, he's a
He is a predator, but that does not necessarily mean his heart is vile. He could be just imprisoned in his condition. Maybe taking him out frees him from his curse and he's no longer undead.
Did you want to
We
take
don't
him out in
know
the
that.
daylight? I mean, we could wait until morning.
That would be a good option. Then he can't leave from underneath the building anyway. And we can just toss him out in the sun and he'll explode. Whatever else happens
I
when they're
mean,
in sunlight.
It sounds kind of cool, but I could be down with that.
do you want to
Like
just
it-
tell him to pack himself in his box and we'll get him out during the daylight hours?
Well,
And then
I
if we
feel
don't
like
like what he has to say, we pop the lid off.
Well, we can give him a provisional cover somewhere that has like, like a shed, but it's
well,
not
the
an-
other thing is Sekald said that that box had lots of magic on it. If we put him in there, he might be able to control whether he gets out or not.
I think if he could do that, he would have.
Well, like he can't leave
think
now,
the
but if we
curse is
were to
binding him
break
to
the
the dungeon.
curse,
Yes.
then he could leave in his box.
It was specifically holy magic, if that matters to anybody.
Oh, so something really wanted him to stay here. Perhaps it is better if we do not question.
Thieves of discussion, we have decided that we don't trust him.
Okay, hello.
And that's about the only thing we've decided.
Hello.
Wait, am I a thief or am I a deck?
Hello, hi.
Okay,
Hi.
so we are live again. Sorry, folks, we've been having technical issues, but that happens.
Thanks,
So-
Ida.
And the worst part is the little bit time we did have on. I think I was muted the whole time, so I'm just going to do
Oh,
a really
shit.
quick recap, and I'm going to use this recording for the future. So, all right.
Ah.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Ghost of Saltmarsh. When we last left off, the group was going to go into the basement and the Craver's Cove because they outdanced the crab folk, and had fun with that. They go inside, and when they go inside, they find a vampire, but he's got a bunch of treasure with him, and he seems to have two goons of his own. And the group decided that they didn't trust him very much. He gave them an option of he cannot leave that room due to a curse. And if one of Pure of Heart were to carry him out, he would be free. And the price of that freedom would be him giving the group very super vital secret information on the town of Saltmarsh that could save the town or even themselves or both. And the group did a bit of chatter, then my internet crashed, and now we're here. So the group's outside, on the beach, out of earshot distance.
Next to
So,
the nice loud ocean.
question to Scotty. For the religion checks that we did, what do we know about vampires? Like what are their strengths and weaknesses?
Okay, you would know that vampires are some of the more powerful of undead. The most powerful even more powerful than any that you have encountered so far. Which is saying something because the Bodak was a very vicious thing that you guys fought.
Yes, indeed.
Fight with quotes around it. Vampires tend to go more on the charisma, trying to pretend like they are still living. Usually take up a upper class nobility kind of role, and they feed off of the blood of the living. And you know that they are very weak to daylight. And by weak to daylight, I mean not just, oh, I'm outside, I'm blinded. It's like daylight hits them and their skin starts to burn and like disappear. You know that most magical light doesn't have that effect. You know that usually more holy spells would ones that emulate actual daylight would be effective on them. You know that they cannot cross moving water. You know that they cannot enter a residence without an invitation from someone who's inside. You know that putting a stake through their heart will paralyze them. It will not kill them. And you know that they apparently have innate powerful magic, such as being able to shape change into creatures of the night. And that they have an allure that they are able to magically charm people.
Okay. So,
because you rolled really
we
high in
know-
religion.
do we know, are they forced to sleep during the day, or do they just have the option to do that?
They have the option to. Most do.
So, we were talking.
Lot.
Sorry, Bryn, you got a little distracted, I think, by the seals. Obviously, none of us trust this guy, and all of us kind of want to murk him.
She could put her most powerful seal there and it'll be fine. No one could get past that mighty seal.
Stealing magic.
But at the same time, the stuff that he knows could be useful.
So you're saying what? Zone of truth? Interrogate? Freedom contingent upon validity of information.
Oh,
He is a vampire. He is immortal. He can sit around and wait for his information to bear fruit. Yes.
You also know, I forgot to mention this for those at home because I'm not going to include that part from the session, that he knows who you all are, even though he's been trapped in here for maybe centuries. So how does he know you?
That goes on the interrogation list.
Well, if he's got magic, you can spy on people from a distance.
If he's a diviner, he could
He could be watching
yeah.
the stuff going on in town.
be scrying on the
That was
city.
the other thing we discussed. So, like, when we first walked in there, my brain was thinking, oh, they're zombies. But then Josul pointed out that there are stories of sometimes the people that a vampire bites don't turn into like undead zombie. They turn into like weaker vampires. So if it's a weaker vampire, it's going to be a lot stronger than like your typical zombie.
Anything outside of D&D, they're called ghouls. But because ghouls are a specific undead in D&D, they are vampire spawn, and you would know them as such.
So if they're vampire spawn, that makes it a bit more of a problem. They're going to be more of a threat. And they're probably going to want to stay with him when he leaves. So that means you're going to be fighting him and his goon squad.
You can roll me an insight, Abby, when I think about it, since you're talking about this.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Also, there were some other questions about like how good of an Arcana check with Sekald. Like, what did he glean from the runes on the spider coffin?
5 total on the insight.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do the insight one real quick. You gain nothing more than what you're getting right now, essentially.
Yeah.
The runes that were on the coffin, with your guys' combined knowledge, with your all religions knowledge and his arcane knowledge, you realize that it is an ancient coffin that has been used with holy magic of Saint Cuthbert, which is essentially the default lawful good paladin deity of Greyhawk.
Good old cudgel.
Think of him kind of like Saint Patrick. He kind of
So,
has
like,
that
the
same kind of
coffin-
deal.
He's Saint Popo.
Mhm.
So like the coffin was done to keep him in it.
Yes.
Well,
he
obviously didn't work because he got out of the box.
Well, he's in magic jail, right? Like
That was on the coffin specifically, but the automaton part was of a different craft. More arcane, Kowal-esque craft. That's Sekald was able
Coffin,
to.
when we saw it, was the lid closed or open?
It was wide open.
Arliss Loveless Industries on the.
So it
side
didn't
of
work.
So the
St.
legs were
Cuthbert's-
added. Sorry.
Apparently, St. Cuthbert's blessing on a coffin didn't keep him in it.
Or maybe it just limits his range.
Sekald, what were you gonna ask?
Effectively adding on to what they just said, the coffin has a range and the legs allowed it to move. The legs being of a different craft than the original coffin itself.
You're thinking that the St. Cuthbert runes and stuff were added post coffin creation. So you're thinking that the automaton parts are actually older.
So maybe
Maybe they're intentional.
Like the Cuthbert spell just keeps him in the room, and the coffin is enchanted already as a walker.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't like the idea though of letting him leave here in that coffin, because if he's in the coffin, we can't get to him.
Do you think he uses it to drive around in the daytime?
I would assume so. I don't know why the heck else it would have legs like that. Looks like a spider.
Some kind of sight beyond sight bullshit.
I would imagine that perhaps the protections protect him from the sunlight while he's walking around in the coffin.
Did it have a window? Like a viewport in it?
It
Or was
did.
like a glass coffin, or was it all
I
iron?
mean,
No,
if
it
it's
was
a magic.
it was a metal coffin.
Yeah, okay.
If it's
if
a
he's
magic
got-
device, he might not need. It's not going to need
Okay.
a window
Close,
necessarily.
closest example of craft I could give you is think the Castlevania series, specifically the animated series, Alucard's Coffin. Imagine that, but it's actually on spider legs and it's not like part of the ground.
No, yeah.
And to add to what Abby just said, he has two thralls, so to speak. He could easily see through their eyes at any given
Well,
time.
the thralls are going to be just as vulnerable to sunlight as he is.
On the other hand, the spider parts are what, rusted still by the salt water damage?
It looks like they haven't worked for a long time.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that-
but they could look that way. It still function just fine as magic.
I mean, it feels like a gambit too far to put like the illusion of disuse on your spider legs. You know, like if you're gonna have these people like carry you out anyway, because they're gonna have to interact with this thing, and that'll break the illusion anyway, right?
Yeah, when he said
Yeah.
carry him out, I
Perhaps.
figured he meant like bridal style.
Well, they've got to
Like-
get the box too, right?
He
That's
might be
his
leaving
problem.
the box.
He
He's
may
gotta
be
go-
leaving.
What if he's got to go back into it at the end of the
Well,
day?
the thing is,
or at
if
the
we
beginning of the
carry
day?
him over it, it might break the spell entirely, and there's nothing keeping him from going in and out now.
Well,
Maybe the
because it's
curse
not a
is on the
residence yet.
box. Yeah,
No one lives here other than him.
right.
He can, once that curse is gone, he can come and go as much as he wants.
we don't know that.
Maybe. Well, I
It
know
might-
it's not going to count as a residence because no one's lived here in years.
Right.
Well, I guess except the crabmen, but they also didn't live in this part of the house.
Do you want to spend the night?
I mean, here, frick no. I do. We need more information. We need to like do some research on this. There is a cleric here in town. Maybe they know something about it.
Oh, I'm sure they would just say what I say, and just burn him down.
Oh well, yeah, but I'm talking about how he came to be here. Who put him here? Who put that curse on there?
Ah.
And why? Because that was the thing that came up, Bryn, while you were distracted. That maybe because I was like, if whoever it was that cursed him was
Wait a second.
powerful enough to put a curse on the building so that he can't leave, why not just kill him? Why?
I just had
Unless like
a thought. Did that
he was too
coffin?
powerful.
Did that coffin happen to have claws attached, or look like it had places for claws to be attached?
No. I see what you're going at, but no.
Because you're talking about a vampire that has a walker, like a spider-looking walker, in a room full of crab things. So why not make it a crab coffin instead?
That's awful and terrifying.
It could be like an apparatus of.
I think perhaps maybe they just worshipped him unintentionally because he was immortal.
Or he's just an impersonating bastard.
You noticed a lot of dead normal crabs in there too. You're thinking maybe he
Well,
was
they have-
sustaining himself off of their blood.
Well, vampires also have that allure ability. He could make them love him even if they would normally wouldn't.
Right.
Oh man, can you imagine like if he got some horseshoe crabs, it'd be like blue blood. He'd be wow.
That's terrifying. Okay, so
Tastes like raspberries.
we need more information, and I need better spells and some armor, preferably.
Let's just not go back down there. We'll just come back another time.
Yeah, we can blue balls them for a couple of days.
He's obviously not going anywhere.
Why do you have to say it like that? Ow.
So you all are gonna call it a night at least for now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the consensus. We need
Yeah.
more info.
All right. I never fully asked this before, but are you all of you are staying at the house, or are you all staying
No,
at
I
separate
think-
places?
I think we need to go back to town personally, and we need to interface with some historians or some other kind of authority.
well,
I d-
like I think he means to sleep at night.
Yeah, because you
Oh,
guys are
well-
gonna be calling it a
We
night.
could.
How far off? Like how? I was gonna say we could probably just bunk on the ship.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that.
The ship is docked outside of your house. You have to take a rowboat to it,
No.
or swim.
But the ship the house is only what, 2 hours away from where we currently are? An
And
hour out of town, and we're on the opposite side.
yeah,
I mean, in
if you
that
take
case,
your time, 2 hours.
we could just walk home in that case. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just go home.
Walk and talk and discuss our options.
Mhm.
So I would like to pray on it and think, but I do not think my goddess would be opposed to me figuring out what this individual knows and then ganking him, because he definitely deserves it, because he is a spawn of evil. Like it feels really underhanded and cruel, but at the same time, he already is that. So
one must be careful that
that's
in the
true.
course of fighting monsters, the one does not himself become a monster.
that's why I want to
I-
pray on it and think about it. But
I need to ask a question.
Hmm?
Because I remember purchasing a potion from New Merchant
Hmm.
that I was supposed to take back to Zindros.
Yep.
Did that ever happen?
Did he?
I mean, I got the potion, but I never got back to her with it. I mean, we said that I went immediately back, but then we immediately transferred over into Crab Wraith.
We'll see. You were able to do that, and she said she was going to be looking into the potion to see if it's like watered down or something.
Gotcha.
yeah, so I think we should talk to people in town, see what anybody knows, but maybe try and keep it a little quiet. Because I don't, what I'm scared of is if we start asking about this and be like, oh, there's a vampire, that like idiot kids are gonna be like, oh, it's a haunted house, and go dare each other to go check it out. And then one of these dumb poor fools get conned into doing what he wants because of their
And then
charm.
there's more
So
vampires.
I
Yeah.
would say let's have, well, the thing is if they're young,
Well, if they're kids, they're not going to be strong enough
They-
to lift him in the first place.
That's
They might just
true.
be a snack.
that's fair.
I have 2 sources of information I could go look into for this.
I could ask around some of the lesser known circles to see if any of them know anything about it.
And I can consult with the order. And I will see if their scribes know anything about a vampire in this area. Any legends?
Yeah, Bryn, if you maybe want to talk to some of the sailors, I'm gonna talk to the priest and
Or weird crab wizards or something.
Hey,
You know, wizards who have a preoccupation with crabs.
I don't know many of those, but I'll see if what I can do.
No. I was saying I will see if if the order has any history of that kind of
Oh,
a thing
okay.
happening around. here.
I thought you were like, go out and find.
No, I was
crab
expanding on my thought.
wizards. Okay.
and I think maybe while we're doing this, maybe the boys could hang out and keep guard when we're not there.
Oh, of the crab house.
Yeah, just to like raise a ruckus if anybody. I kind of am
It's
hesitant
like
to head home.
it's like
Because it's
Owl
so far
House, but
away.
it's Crab House.
Zolok's Crab Shack.
Well, if we trust that he is telling the truth that he cannot leave, then we really truly have nothing to fear. Because they are certainly not going to be sending a couple of little crab spawn through
That's
the middle
true.
of town.
And there's no reason for anybody to really go looking into it.
And even
Okay,
if they
yeah,
did
so he
decide
should
to-
be fine for tonight at least.
and why would he try to attack us in the middle of the night if he knows we are here? He is trying to.
I'm
get
not
us to get
afraid of
out.
him. I'm not afraid of him attacking us. I'm afraid of like some curious idiot wandering up and him being like, "Oh, if you let me out, I'll give you all of this treasure." And because they're young and innocent and foolish, they'll do it.
Speaking
And then
of, has
he's
anybody
out
seen
and we're
Kade?
2 hours away.
I was gonna say is I think
No,
we have
but I'm
guards.
willing to bet she has something to do with the cliff, and that
I-
might be what she's spending her spare time doing.
I think last I saw she was at the house. I think maybe she ate something that didn't agree with her.
Josul's just going to assume when she's not here, she's just jumping off the cliff.
Yeah.
Just continuously.
So my question
Oh,
is:
she may
Are
have
you
been,
all going to head for a long rest, or are you going to continue investigating?
Josul's going to do some investigating before he goes to sleep. Just ask around some of the local less than savory people that he normally deals with and see if any of them have heard of any odd dealings or anything in the city that seems dark or perhaps mysterious, like weird cultists or anything like that.
If Captain Zendros's shop is still open, Sekald would stop by and ask her, see if she's got any information.
Is there a chapter house yet for the Order of the Pearl in Saltmarsh, or do I have to go back in the water for that?
You'd have to go back in the water.
Okie dokie. About how far of a travel is that?
Callie getting that Garfield. It'd be about a day's travel to go there, talk with them, and come back.
Ugh. This is bullshit.
Maybe they
will-
have like a magic conch you can talk to them from a distance.
They
it would
don't
be-
really have anything close to the surface stuff because they deal mostly with underwater threats.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a ranger out here so far from, command.
Yeah.
But I need to find someone who knows sending. Oh, do you know sending?
I don't have it prepared today, but I can prepare it tomorrow.
Yes, I think that.
Josul
perhaps-
knows message.
Have either of you met? What was his name? The elf that got me brought in, sponsored me.
Oh, Oceanus.
Ocean.
Yeah, we both met him.
Okay, good. So yeah, him. I would need to basically send him a message of all of this.
Josul has like a message cantrip. I can just cast it as many times as you need.
Message does have a range problem.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
message is
true.
like
Yeah.
30 or 60 feet range.
Sending would be
is
better.
anywhere on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sending would be better.
I think tomorrow morning we should prepare a message through sending and send it.
Yeah, and
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna start first with Sekald. So Sekald, you head up to Zendros' shop and you knock on the door. Or do you knock on the door? There's no lights on.
Well, if it doesn't show that it's open, then I'm not gonna barge in.
Um,
I typically like to give her a heads up.
you know that shopkeepers that are nice enough to have their own shop, the upstairs is usually their living quarters. So she would be here.
Oh dear.
You would know from experience as well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were about to say. Remember, awkward when it comes to RP.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge throws off cliff. You know.
Katie? Yeah, I mean, considering how the rest of this campaign has gone, I may as well try to knock and see if she's awake.
You see a light upstairs, and after about a minute or two, she goes to answer the door, and you notice that she's wearing like a
Don't do
a
this.
big onesie nightgown, and it's got like a skull on it, and she's holding like a candle.
Nice.
She's like, "What? Just getting ready for bed."
Sorry to disturb, but something's come up that you might have information on. Should I wait? till the morning?
Something's looks down, looks up, come up.
I hate you, Scotty. Would you prefer if I wait until the morning?
What came up?
It can wait.
What came up? As the door is still opened a little bit, but she just leans on the door frame. Not seductively or anything, just just leans on the door.
What do you know of vampires in this area? Or have you heard anything?
Vampires. I've only heard legends of vampires.
Anything around here specifically?
Is there a vampire around here?
Without wanting to worry you or anyone else in the town, yes. But it's being
Ooh.
dealt with.
Where is it?
Inside check on if she's planning on going there to deal with it herself.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Wait, no, I take that back. She would not be pure of heart, so I don't think it would be a problem.
also it doesn't look like she's hiding her intentions very well.
Hiding?
Yeah, it's-
Intentions.
And
The
not
town
just-
knows what she worships. It's
Yeah.
advertised on her
The town
shop.
does not know that. Like if Abby, I thought we talked about like if Abby knew that, she would not be okay with this lady.
I thought you knew that, and it was irrelevant that you still weren't okay with it. But
This place is called the Faithful Quartermasters of Irons. I thought I stated that. Maybe I didn't.
No.
No, you did.
I mean, you saw her holy symbol and stuff, or should I say unholy symbol?
No, I thought that she wore it under her shirt like a smart person.
you mean like mine?
Yes.
So, anyways,
She lets you in.
I love how this campaign is like two very good innocent people, and everyone else has dark secrets.
And then she lets you in, and the door, the
Secret.
camera's outside, and it like slowly closes as there's light
Well,
inside.
it's not secret.
Jasul, you said you're going to the docks.
Uh-huh.
The only person you really see out there are just Jim. He's on patrol. You know Jim.
Good old Jim.
Yep. And the quartermaster's in his office. Probably half asleep. Or drunk, or both.
I'd expect nothing less.
You've bribed him with enough
Well-
alcohol, he's probably pretty drunk.
Yeah, probably. Thinking.
Oh, hey, Jasul.
Do it.
How you doing? Yes, he's just holding like a lantern.
Oh, Jim.
Big, yeah, he's this big guy, and he's like, hey, you know me, I'm Jim.
All right, Jim. Just wanted to ask you any questions here. Do you know if anyone in our circle of compatriots has perhaps seen or heard of any sketchy characters about town that are new or out of place?
Not really sure. Maybe maybe I've had a little bit of incentive.
I'd expect nothing less. What's Jim's usual rate?
Bottle of cheap booze. Maybe gold.
Okay.
No, not even
Done.
gold. We'll go with silver. What am I
Go-
saying? Oh,
got it.
a common wine is like 2 silver. So I'll say.
I'll just give him 2 silver so we can get a common wine.
Okay. that
Um,
works. And
I give
he,
him 2 silver and I go, kind of like it's a normal transaction between me and Jim.
yeah, and he's just like, it's very swift. Just casually just takes it and tucks it up
Right.
somewhere. And he just says, "Well, haven't seen anyone too fishy as of late. Heard weird rumors about crabs dancing tonight, though."
Anything else about any sketchy characters or people that seem to not fit into the normal townsfolk?
Well, apparently, someone's out for sabotage, I've heard.
What kind of sabotage?
The local merchant that just came in from out of town. He had been here for only a few days, and he was found this morning, passed out at his desk in his ship. He was dead, poisoned, sometime during the night. Wait, you didn't poison these, did you?
No.
Oh, okay. He just opens one, starts drinking.
He asked that like it's a casual thing in our line of work.
He takes a swig, like scoots his crate over, and he goes to sit on it, and he like hands it to you if you wanted some.
Yeah, just all takes a sip, and I share a casual conversation with Jim to kind of get the feel for how he thinks this might be, or does he think this is something relevant, and stuff like that. Basically, I get the feel for the situation and talk to him about what might be going on.
Yeah, you don't really hear anything about a vampire or anything close to that. But he does. But what he is talking about is kind of interesting. The merchant that had died was from an ingested poison, and your mind can't help but flash back to the vampire saying, "How's your stomach doing, Josul?" But besides that, everything else is seems to be as normal, at least in the black market sense. You know, nothing out of the ordinary.
Right. All right. Well, if I don't get any extra information, then I'll relay the rest of that to the group whenever I come back to the house.
Okay.
Relay
What
that
Yes.
tidbit of info.
what exactly did you learn? I wasn't listening, unfortunately.
Basically that that there was a merchant in town, rival of another merchant that recently was found poisoned to death, which fits well along the lines of what the vampire first said when he saw me, which was, "How is my stomach doing?" Meaning they tried to poison all the merchants, and I somehow missed that memo. Or
You
survived and I didn't know it.
You haven't been in town as
It's true.
much.
Oh, ooh. Actually,
Also, you tend not to eat other people's food. You usually make your own.
Yeah, it's true.
I found something else here. We got a table. Josul, can you roll me a d10?
I sure can.
Rumor on the docks table.
8.
Sometimes he also mentions that sometimes on a moonless night, you can see the ghost of a drowned sailor trying to get home. Lead one to their home, and you'll get a wish. Fail, and they'll strangle you.
Yeah, drowned sailor thing. Yeah. Just Soul keeps that to himself because it's commonplace.
Abby, where were
Also,
you?
he doesn't trust anything that says it gives you a wish.
Yeah, he was pretty drunk by the time he was telling you that too. By pretty drunk, I mean he was through like 3/4 of that bottle, the first bottle.
Yeah. Okay.
Abby, you said you were heading to the local chapel. Now you have a few choices here.
I thought it was getting near evening. She was gonna head home and then do it in the morning. But
Okay.
we
Yeah,
still have a
you
couple
go
of
to-
hours. Then
It's probably around 10, 11 p.m.
yeah, I feel like a lot of clerics might be kind of early birds. So she would head in and then that night sit down and pray for guidance on if it's ethically okay to lie to an evil being and then stab him in the back.
It just shows a silhouette of like a halfling god in the sky, and you're like, yeah. Have at him, Maddie. Abby. Oh, wait, you were supposed to cast a spell for that kind of guidance. Whatever. Anyway. Bryn, do you do anything tonight, or do you just decide to go ahead to bed?
Not tonight. Well.
Which
hang on.
seals do you leave to guard?
Hang on. What do I know? Like, because they wanted me to go talk to like sailors, and my perspective of sailors and like pirates and such, they would be out drinking at night. So would I think this would be a good time to go and talk to them?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
You would head over to the Wicker Goat, one of the oldest taverns in town.
Okay. That's not the one that I've been staying at, right?
No, you're staying at the Snapping Line. That's the one Abby works at. Sometimes.
Okay. Okay. I head over there and I scan the place.
You notice that most of the patrons here, well, not most of them, a good portion of the patrons here are dwarves.
Oh, okay.
Then, like, on like a percentage, it'd be like 45% dwarf, 50% human, and like 5% halfling.
Okay. And remind me again what I'm supposed to be asking them.
Any weird people in town, or anyone seem out of place, or anything seem like it's been out of the norm for the city?
Okay. I sit down at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Is there someone?
Yep.
Well, first, are
You've
there
been-
people sitting at the bar?
Oh yeah, quite a few. Most of them dwarves.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
One very loud group at the sitting next to you. It's a group of 3 dwarves, and they're just going on about some random story, and they got flushed cheeks and stuff. The bartender, human, says, "Hi, Bryn. What would you like?"
I'm gonna get around for those 3 guys that are sitting next to me.
He raises an eyebrow and just like, okay.
And I'll take 1.
That'll be 3 silver.
Okay, that's fine. When they get the drinks, I will
You look over at you, and one of them whispers to the other one, and he just kind of like puffs up his chest a bit, and he like floofs his beard a little.
I look down for a minute, and I'm like, oh god, and then I like.
Wait, you have a good perception.
Hair.
Never mind.
Yeah.
You notice that's a she.
Okay. I flip my hair, and I'm like, hi.
She just comes over and she just sits right next to you, and she's just like, "So, how you doing, pretty one?"
Hi. I see you're enjoying the spoils that the bar offers. I hope you don't mind that I piled on some more.
Oh, not at all, not at all, lass.
How long have you been around here?
I've been living here for quite a bit. If I didn't know your name and your tales of heroism better, I would think that you were a lady hitting on me. And the rest of them start laughing and stuff. No. She starts curling a little bit of her beard, and she's like, "It's a shame, though." Anyway, what were you looking for?
Hi. I see that my reputation precedes me.
You can smell booze on them, but you can also smell perfume in their beard. It's not like a strong perfume.
I'm looking for someone. Have you seen someone around? Not really looking like they're from around here.
About this tall, kind of shady. Doesn't like to talk to people much.
I mean, that would be a good description.
No, I haven't. And she just like slaps your shoulder and starts laughing.
Oh God! Wow.
Get around for Bryn. It's the least I can do for her pain for me and my friends.
Oh, I couldn't. I really couldn't.
Wooden tankard.
Twisted my arm.
Yeah.
The bartender's like, "The special?" And they're like, "No, I can do it myself." And they take out a gold coin and they put it into the beer, and it plops, and you hear like it fizzling and stuff. Good, it's imported.
Oh. Okay. No, but I really am looking for someone. You haven't seen anyone and any kind of suspicious. Like, it doesn't.
And where at?
Oh, just maybe down down by the beach, or walking around town, anywhere down by the docks.
Travis Cove.
First, Maybe there. Like,
Mhm.
when we were just
That old piece of
Crabber's Cove.
that old piece of crap. Hmm. No, I haven't been around there. I don't really hang around the shady types.
Do you know anybody who does?
Not anyone here. We're all good, honest folk here in Saltmarsh. And that's when you notice that most of the people here are like town's garden dwarves.
Ah, the blind
sailors?
folk of the guard. All perception 9s all around.
If you're looking for something more sketchy, I would very much advise it. Though I know you can take care of yourself. I'd head over to the Empty Net.
Okay. Well, thank you for your help.
No problem. And she goes to shake your hand. You know, like her hand just goes to your hand to shake it. Do you let her?
Like predator? No, gross germs. Elbow.
No, less predator and more of like this to this.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm keeping an eye, like, because I know that people tend to, well, maybe not around here, but people do tend to pickpocket. So, yeah.
You've noticed that she leaves something in your hand as you're going to leave, and it is a tiny, smooth stone, and it has runes on it in Dwarven.
And it explodes.
I'm not that kind of dwarf, you blasted. Also, that's illegal here in the North.
Have you read the script for my Red Wizard campaign?
I may have had a peek or two.
That's right out of that mark.
Bryn probably clearly looks fairly confused. I don't think Bryn knows Dwarven, right?
No, I know Draconic, though.
She winks at you and she says it's my number.
Oh. For what?
Probably the bunk she sleeps at in the town barracks. The bunk number.
It's a gate sigil sequence.
Oh yeah.
It is not a scenting stone. You kidding? You think this dwarf can afford a scenting stone magic items in this economy?
Yeah, I'm gonna head to that place maybe if I can tonight, but I'll let everybody else do.
Yeah. As I pull up that one, there it is. Okay. Axel, do you plan on doing anything tonight? Were you thinking of heading out tonight, or you think you're just gonna head back to the house for now?
I think Axel would probably spend some time just ruminating on the problem, but also composing kind of in his head what the sending spell should be about, and like how to get the most important aspects of the situation across without taking up all the room in this message. So he's trying to aim for efficiency while also avoiding like a three amigos situation where, you know, they think that they're headed, that one situation is happening, but because of abbreviations, they get something entirely different back. So that's going to be his thing for the night, is like, how do I convey this with maximum efficiency, but also not so much signal loss?
Do you have a sending stone for them?
Do we?
Do you?
I don't have it on my.
Oh, I thought you said. I thought that's what you were saying.
No, because Abby said she was going to prepare sending in the morning.
That's right. Okay.
So
All right.
I'm working out, like, I'm trying to like compose that the content of that message.
All right. Since you're heading back to the house and you're contemplating this, you notice, coming back up when you get to the house, you notice that in the open foyer, as you open up the door and you come in, you hear, "Hey," and you like turn around and you see Kade in like a full body cast on the couch.
Oh, there you are. So how is the cliff diving?
Oh, it was great.
Okay. Do you need anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, just holler if you need me. I'll be downstairs.
Okay.
Looking sharp.
Sharp?
Yeah, it's a nice it's a nice look for you being still. And he's gonna leave the room on that.
You notice like right next to her is like a cup that she is just out of range of reaching. Anyway. Sorry. Sorry, Jeanette.
I didn't mean to come for her that hard, but there it was.
No, that was me. But in any case. Then we'll go back to Sekald. So Sekald. At this point, you are upstairs with her, and she has made some tea.
This should be a good story.
Or whatever drink you prefer. She has it ready.
I mean, I'm fine with tea. I'm just more concerned that she's preparing a drink at this time of night, about to tell me stories of vampires, I think.
She's like, shh, don't worry, just chamomile. Won't give you the jitters.
Already got the jitters.
But
anyways.
anyway, vampires. There's one in town. Don't tell me it's one of the Dockmasters.
No, this one has been secure for some time. I'm assuming you don't know anything about them then.
No. Nope. Not that I know of. So where did you come around this vampire?
Sober in Crab Cove, beneath one of the buildings.
Ooh.
Trying to find information on it. I thought you might have something.
That'd be a good place to go. Personally, I would never go there. Don't want to get tetanus. But no, I have not heard anything about anyone going down there. Besides homeless people. They seem to go missing, but that's what happens.
I don't think that was because of this one. Do you happen to
Are
have...
you sure?
Well, no.
It's one from one of those novels I wrote about. Has an acquired taste for someone special.
There were a lot of dead crabs around there.
Oh, a bit too special then.
I love the crab juice.
Like I said, crab rangoon.
Well, let's see here. She pulls out like her scroll, and it's got the log of what she has in her inventory. She says, well, I don't really have anything that would help with undead specifically, but I'd be willing to go along with you if you were wanting to talk with it. Though I wouldn't want any of your friends involved. They don't seem to trust me, like a lot of people around here. I can't understand why. And you just see like love life vines in the background.
Yikes.
I'll be honest with the smuggling that he's done. Josul has probably done business with her a few times.
Surprisingly not.
Really?
And it probably makes you even more suspicious of her.
It does, yeah, actually.
So I wouldn't want her to, well, I guess I should do this in character. Wouldn't want you to get involved, and if there's nothing that you have that can specifically deal with them, we're just trying to get information at the moment. Probably deal with them some other way.
Well, I would suggest getting holy water, wooden stake, and daylight in a bottle if that's possible.
What in the bottle?
Daylight.
Oh, daylight in the bottle. I did not know.
I hear that they have a horrible allergy to daylight.
The idea is to move them in the daylight. So if it becomes a problem, we've got the original source.
Move them? So you're not trying to kill it? Are you hoping to keep it under your control?
Why do I feel like I'm getting interrogated?
Because you are.
Because you are.
Uh,
And her tail flicks.
hmm.
I could help you with that. For a price.
Don't think the others would
They don't
go
need.
along with that.
Shh. They don't need to know.
Yeah, no, they're gonna know, regardless. If we do anything by ourselves, they'll know the next day as we go back to deal with it.
I have my ways.
Let's not do that.
You'd be surprised what they don't know about.
Yeah, no, I'd rather not deal with a vampire lord. Or, well, I don't know, he's a vampire lord.
A vampire lord.
I don't know it's a vampire lord. That was me, unfortunately, dealing with Skyrim recently.
Oh, I hear they're horrible with magic.
No, got me pretty good with it.
They just spam the same attack over and over. It's all right. Anyway, you're saying.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with the RPing of reverse
Okay,
interrogation.
well, I can see that I'm making you uncomfortable, and that's the last thing I want to do. So, I think we can end it here, but if you need any help, I am more than happy to assist you. With this situation.
Appreciated, but without any extra information, I wouldn't want to put you in danger for something like that.
Mhm.
But thank you.
And with that, you guys, finish the conversation and whatnot, and you're allowed to leave if you want. She's being a very gracious host.
I'd thank her for the tea and do exactly that.
Okay.
Don't want to keep her from sleeping and there's no information to be gained.
Josul. Where were we?
Yeah. Drunken conversations with the sailor about strange things in town.
Yes. So, he tells you about that ghost. And you're probably going to be heading home for the night, wherever you go to bunk.
Yeah.
And as you do, you're slithering past, and you see that market stall across the streetway of Zendros' shop, and Sekald is just leaving there as you're leaving. We'll say, yeah, let's take a convenience, maybe inconvenience. But you notice the shop across the way is just a tent, and they have this nice little sign that says Aquamarine Shop. And it has like a little smiley, and it's like in blue paint. And just got like a little blue hearts. And it has like a little sign that says, currently closed.
Interesting.
And you guys head back. Along the way, you guys get back to the house, and that's when you guys hear snoring as you open the door. And when you come inside, you see in a full body cast Kade asleep. Does not look comfortable, at least for you. But you've seen her do some crazy yoga poses, so.
I just shake my head and squidge past.
Oh, there
Hey,
is a note on the coffee table. We'll say there's a coffee table. And
Right.
in common, it says, you
I
owe...
got into the soap.
It says, where are they at? Where are they at? You owe me. And it's signed Welgar Brine-handed from the Temple of Procan.
Oh God.
So in my head, like she's laying, like she's got one leg sticking straight out, one leg is up in traction, and then she's got one arm back here in traction. So she looks like a K on the couch.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yes.
But the last arm is the one that's outright. That's like right next to the cup that I can't reach.
Yeah,
Right.
perpendicular to the
just
table.
out of reach of a cup, like right there. Like
Mhm.
like
Boy, do you itch in that thing, man? I'll tell you what. When I was young, I broke my arm and I had it in a cast, and it just itched like anything. And it was worse because you couldn't scratch all the way down. And then I found a pencil.
Abby will make sure that she moves her drink closer and like throw a blanket over her. And maybe find like a dowel rod or something or another so that she can itch if she has to.
Ow, she's all bound. She's got nothing. She can't
Well,
move.
she's got one arm that's free.
No,
she can-
one arm's up like this, and the other arm's
Oh.
out
They're
like
both in
that.
casts.
Okay, never mind then.
She's got a neck
can-
brace.
How is she gonna?
She has
how
a
is
neck
she gonna
brace
even
on.
Get the cup if she gets it.
You need to create
It's
a
there
draw
for
or-
it's there for comedic effect.
Oh, okay.
Can she cast Unseen Servant? No.
Katie, no.
But she might
She
be able
can
to
cast
speak
speak
with animals.
and that's it.
She can call an octopus to do it for her.
Yeah, she could create a friend to give her a drink.
Oh, she's got service octopus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that got cuter, a lot cuter
Mhm.
really fast.
It did.
She summons the octopus, and it's not like a big octopus. It's like a tiny one. It's just struggling to carry the little cup.
It's like a cuttlefish octopus, a little cuddle octopus, the little cute one.
Dumbo? Dumbo octopus?
Yeah, it's it. The
No.
one's got the little flaps. It
Mhm.
swims around with little flat, like Dumbo ear flaps. It's orange. Yeah, she summons one of those, and it's like barely holding the cup on its little Dumbo flap head, like squidging along the table.
Okay.
It has to stop at one point and get in the cup because it's drying out. It's got to rest.
Yeah. Yep.
There's just like a mop bucket for it.
Meanwhile, Bryn, you get to the empty net, and it's on the bad side of town, near the Crabber's Cove, kind of. And outside, there's this like cloaked figure, and he's got like a bandana face mask on, and he's got a hood over him, and he's just got his trench coat, and then he just like opens the trench coat, and he does the comedic like, oh no, it's a stripper, like camera angle, and then it like turns around, and he's fine, he's fully clothed, but inside is a bunch of paraphernalia, thieves' tools, lockpicks, many different knives of certain varieties, and he's like, interested.
No. Yeah, I'll take a. How much for the lockpick?
Oh, now I have to actually look it up. I didn't think you would actually want to get it. Curse me in my hubris. All right.
I think these tools are usually like 25 or 50 gold.
Yeah. It says 30. Masterwork thieves' tools. All the way from the castle of Borland itself, approved by King Scotty. I have the certificate of approval, and he like pulls it out of his sleeve. But he like shows it to you like really quick, and then like rolls it back up and puts it in his sleeve. You do see for a brief moment like the royal crest on it.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If I come back out here, and you're still out here, I'll get a thieves' tools review. So yeah.
I ain't going anywhere. And he lurks back into the shadows.
Okay.
And you head inside.
I head inside.
Inside, you hear like a rowdy bar stuff. Glass shattering, and some guys yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Another one being like, "What'd you call my mother?" There's a fight going on in the corner.
How many exits are in this tavern?
Well, there's the saloon doors that you just went through, and then there's a window there that's like borderline patched up. There's a window over there. You're thinking there's probably a back door.
All right. Okay. Just for future reference.
For no reason in particular.
No reason in particular. Yeah.
Place kind of quiets down and sees you, and they're kind of giving stink eyes.
I scan over the place with my piercing blue eyes. No.
Give me an intimidation roll.
Okay. Hang on.
Like the music stops. Yeah.
That's a 32.
The music immediately starts back up and everyone goes back to their own business.
Rolled a natural 20.
And as you
Notes to
you
all
put
of us, two
proficiency
salty
in it.
sailors in the corner shit their pants.
I love how Bryn put proficiency into intimidation. That's super strong. Like, I love that. That's amazing. 32, Jesus Christ.
You walk up to the bar, and the human, big, brutish-looking guy, or the barkeeper, is just like, it'll be a 5 compa
For what?
for what we got. Still doesn't look at you.
I put down 5 copper.
Looks over at it, takes it, looks at one of the coins,
It's
puts
not
it
gonna
away.
be good.
And you think he was checking to see if it wasn't like a fake coin or something.
No, I know.
And he pours you something and he hands it to you, and it's like this thick, brownish, almost lumpy like liquid.
I've had worse.
It's kind of like milkshakey consistency.
Cool. I'll drink it.
Con save.
Okay.
Only because you already had a drink at the other tavern.
+3, that's a 21.
Okay. Your mouth is immediately greeted by the sting of alcohol and maybe cinnamon and spice, and maybe something else that you don't know, but for you out of character would know, is the smell of gasoline. Just flares into your nostrils and down your throat as you take it all in one shot.
Scan the place.
And besides that, you're fine.
Yeah, I put my drink down. I say,
Because you're scanning the place. Roll me perception.
Perception. 16.
You notice somebody going to leave out the back way as they put a hood up. They looked like they were looking your direction and immediately bailed when they saw you.
I'll be right back, and I head that way.
Okay. Roll me initiative. You're chasing them down?
Yeah. No, my God. Oh my God. What is?
This won't be long, trust me. I won't.
Okay, a 28. I rolled a 20.
Okay. You got over 10 above their initiative, so I'm going to say you catch up to them before they can even try to lose sight of you behind the bar. Do you grapple them, or?
Yeah, I will grab their arm.
Okay, roll to hit.
To hit, it's just
Like unarmed, because you're grappling.
unarmed strike. Okay, it's an 18.
Okay. You got him on the shoulder, and you like go to put him onto the wall, and as you do, the hood goes down, and you recognize them. They're one of your former crew on your boat. Slim.
Slim's in the...
Bald man, half elf, shaved head.
For some reason, I really don't trust it. I don't know why.
And it's just
Really
like,
don't trust it.
hi, Bryn. Hey, Captain. Yeah, hi, Captain.
That's Captain Flynn to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Captain.
What are you doing, you slimy little worm?
Oh, no, nothing particular. I thought you were dead. I'm gonna, you know what, for funsies, he owes you a few coin.
He owes me.
Yeah, we'll see like 20 silver.
Okay. You know I couldn't die before I got paid back, Slim. That's not how I work.
This is all I have. And he like throws coin on the ground. Or drops it on the ground because you haven't grappled.
That's all you have, and you came to this tavern. What a coincidence, Slim. I haven't seen you in a little while. I haven't seen any of the crew in a little while. Where have you been? Let me know. Catch me up.
I thought you were. I haven't done anything that I would do to betray you if I knew you were alive.
So you admit you've done something to betray me? You
No.
think that it's a good idea to betray me out of everyone?
I'm sorry. Just don't gut me, please.
I bring out my sword. I say,
Oh shit. Okay.
I put it to his like under his chin, and then I kind of like.
You actually shave him a little bit because he's like got stubble.
I trace it down. I say, well, I've got less for less.
Oh no! I can tell you where I found a secret. Where the current crew I've at where they're hiding their treasure. Please, don't kill me.
I don't want treasure, Slim. I want information, and I know.
Sure, whatever you want. What do you want?
Have you seen anybody besides yourself that looks a little slimy around here?
No, not here.
I put pressure on his.
Pushing down on me.
Yeah, I put pressure on the sword.
So pushing down on him.
Yeah, pushing down on him.
No one asked for it though.
No one asked for it.
I'm sorry. Anyway. No, not here. Hit the skies.
The sides. Okay.
There's
That's...
Mr. Dory. Mr. Dory is very slimy.
And what is Mr. Who? Dory?
He's one of the men that run the place.
The styes?
Dum. And that's where we'll end it for the night.
Okay.
Because I'm running an hour later because of the thing. But yeah, I think that's actually a good spot. Because everyone else has pretty much gone to bed. And that's a good little hook for next time. Now I gotta remember Slim's here. So,
I don't trust him.
You don't trust him as far as you could throw him into a pickle barrel.
Yeah.
So, as we end it for the night, we'll go to Plex. So why don't we start with our interrogator, Bryn? What do you got going on?
Hey. What do I have going on? I have 2 commissions open still, art commissions. They're $20 or less for commissions. I got 2 of them open. I'm out of. I just graduated, waiting to get accepted into another school, and I got time right now, so DM me at Callie on Twitter, and I will draw some stuff for you if you would like that. And I think my next game would be, man, it's been a while, but Call of Cthulhu on Tuesday. Jeanette runs it on her channel, Uncanny Adventures. It's very scary because I almost always die, and
Well,
I've been at death's door for a long time.
you're the suicidal one. It's like no sleep, no breaks. Let's keep going into danger.
Yeah.
My legs are broken, but I can still walk on the stilts.
One of the first episodes of that, I fell off a horse and like took a significant amount of damage, and then it just went all downhill. from
It's just
there.
been a steady downhill.
I think you're doing good now. You're like at 3 hit points now.
Yeah, I think I'm at maybe 6. I think it doubled. I think it went to 6, which is the most I've had in like 10 sessions. So, yeah, if you would like to see that, that's on Jeanette's channel, Uncanny Adventures, on Tuesday. And then Wednesday games, Scotty will talk about. And then vaccine on Friday. I'm gonna cry.
Probably.
What? No,
If you don't die.
everything's good. Everything's good in vaccine. No drama at all.
None whatsoever.
No.
And Scotty's birthday is next Saturday. Wish him happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Ow.
Happy birthday.
It's the big 3-0. So
Oh no.
that's not that big, but
Yo.
isn't it supposedly it was like 40 or was, and then everyone's like, oh, it's 50, and then now everyone's like, oh, it's 60.
I'm coming
So-
up on 40. Shut up.
I am 40. Shut up.
Oh, 30, what a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, what a nightmare.
You better enjoy your knees, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Enjoy them while they still work and you don't need oil.
Or sound like a goddamn like airbag like every time you stand up. Just like,
Yeah.
Oof. I think up next I will do Jesse, aka Axel. What do you got going on?
Get ready for action. Get ready for adventure. Get ready for a whole new opening on the next episode of the Quest of the Quantum Rose. We're coming into season 2, so I'll be switching up the everything for this season because we're hitting into a whole new arc of the story. But that is going to be a little delayed while we're getting that put in place. So it'll be a few weeks. However, in the meantime, I was going to be doing a little guest starring on Blake's Mysteries of the Silver Fleet. So I'm going to punt over to him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh. Stay tuned because last time we did a filler episode because half the crew wasn't here. But they met a new friend, and that friend is a spaceship. And they now have a new member of the team, even though it's, capable of being lived inside.
I think it was specifically the void engine itself of the ship.
Yes, it's part of what it is. It's kind of like a permanent source of lunch. But
Lunch?
the ship itself is alive, and
What?
Like
yeah,
Moya?
it's complex. You'd have to watch the episode to catch up.
It's like a little Moya.
It'll
little
be
Delphina?
posted eventually on Scotty's YouTube channel. If you missed that one, it's worth it. There was a Red Dwarf reference in there. If you catch the Red Dwarf reference before I mentioned that it's a Red Dwarf reference, you get an inspiration point.
I'm gonna watch
None of
that.
the rest of the crew did, but you'll get one.
Scotty, I need that
nobody caught
VOD
that
stat.
reference.
I need to
But
get caught up.
we find out next time, providing the rest of the crew is here, what will happen when they dive down into the Redlock Titans, the Titan craft, to face off against one of the Redlock AI, rogue AI that they know are the administrators of the devious mega corporation known as Redlock. So they get to face off against they believe that it is the Redlock administrator responsible for the Xenoplague, which they just learned about was a very terrible and awful thing. They also learned that my voice for the Xenoplague is also a Red Dwarf reference to the Epideme episode, which you will get to hear me do that voice again once they head into the Titan craft. So if you enjoy hearing my recollection of that voice, stay tuned.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Can't wait to see where Rusty fits into all of this.
Yeah. Abby, what do you got going on?
Hi. So I am on Twitter. I write things occasionally on DM's Guild, so go check that out. It's under my name, Katrina Bresnik. I co-wrote the an Aarakocra and Kenku racial supplement for 5e called Birds of Paradise. It's super cool. Go check it out. And then regarding games or like live whatever. The Baltimore by Night game that Callie and several others are in. The newest episode will be airing on Monday at noon. So that'll be the 6th, the holiday. It's super cool. It's a little bit of like an aftermath of, you know, after everything kind of went to shit last time. And we deal with a very annoying human boy that doesn't know how to keep his goddamn mouth shut. So it's gonna be fun. It's interesting. Go check it out. That is on my channel Crow and Chimera on YouTube.
Sweet. And with that, you can find past VODs over on Twitch. Apparently I had a setting on where most people couldn't watch them anymore, but now they are there, so you can watch them there. I'm way behind on the YouTube videos. YouTube channel is the same as this one, Scotty Good. But besides that, I also have a Patreon. So if you would like to support me and the other games that are hosted on this Twitch channel, that'd be a great way to do it. You would gain early access to artwork that I'm working on for the DM's Guild and for other commissions that I work on. Speaking of stuff for the DM's Guild, I have quite a few things on there. My most popular one is Zebediah's fishing techniques and equipment. If you guys want to expand on fishing rules, or maybe just have some more specialized equipment, like maybe you want a gnome fisherman, but they aren't really proficient in survival, you could get something, as an example, the gnome tackling kit, which goes off of your intelligence and is more of a steampunky design. And there's also many varieties of bait and fishing competition rules and all that kind of stuff. Besides that, the next game that will be on this channel will be Wednesday on the 8th of September, where we will be continuing Rime of the Frost Maiden, where I brain farted as I'm trying to remember what we were doing there. What were we doing there? I think you guys were just finishing up on stuff with the mountain at Kelvin's Cairn, and you guys were getting ready to head back to Brain Shander, because you were helping out these dwarves find their iron ingots that were stolen. Well, not stolen per se, but they were attacked by yetis, and they had to run away from their sled. So, on that note, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all on September 18th.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.